Hey, this is Joe Hubbard from JoeHubbardBassVideos.com coming at you today with another lesson. And this particular lesson is on creating interesting bass lines. With that in mind, grab your bass and let's get started. Practicing over 2 successive chords is a great way to start learning how to play interesting bass lines over a complete set of chord changes. Looking at the chords in groups of 2 instead of trying to negotiate an entire harmonic progression of a tune is a very effective way to practice to become comfortable while building bass lines over songs spontaneously. The common progression that you would come across is 2 dominant 7th chords a whole step apart from each other. In the following exercises, we're going to practice going from C7 down to B flat 7, 1 bar of each chord. Remember, when practicing this chord progression, to apply chord tones, approach notes, scale passing tones, and rhythmic syncopation. In this lesson, I'm going to add a more advanced principle to help you start to create melodic hooks in your bass lines. Please note that this is just one technique that you can add to your arsenal of concepts, along with everything else that we've already looked at. The goal here is to be able to mix these ideas up and play what you hear. In the following example, you'll see that the progression is 16 bars long. Notice that the line that is written starts on the root of the C7th and then moves up and then back down in a stepwise motion. As the chords change, the relationship of the notes in the line relate to either a root, a 3, a 5, or a flat 7th of the chord at the moment. Start experimenting with building bass lines using this method. You'll see that it creates instant variation in your lines and also provides a strong melodic hook to what you are playing. So following along with the PDF download that's attached to this lesson, the first chord is C7 and I'm starting on the root note. The next chord is B flat 7 and I move up by step to the 3rd of the chord. Next chord is C7. I'm then on the 3rd of the C7. Next chord is the B flat 7 and I go up to the 5th. Next chord is C. I go up to the 5th, which is G. Next chord is B flat. I move up 1/2 step to the A flat. That's the flat 7. Then I'm back to C and then I have the flat 7 here. I then use a pivot, so I want to get to the 3rd, so I'm going to play these as half notes, and I play the root there over the C7, and then when it changes back down to the B flat, I have the 3rd there over the B flat. Okay, then it goes back to the C, I'm at the root, it goes back to B flat, I'm at the root, it goes back to C, I'm going to keep that common tone, and I'm on the flat 7 there. Okay, it then goes to B flat and I'm on the flat 7 here. It goes to C, I'm then on the 5th, I'm then go to B flat, I'm on the 5th there. Okay, I'm on the C, I'm on the 3rd, and then I'm on the B flat, and then I'm on the 3rd there. So try to just get used to this root motion. Now this is just an exercise that shows you where you really want to start your lines on. In the following exercise, I'm going to show you how to put it together and add in chromaticism, scale passing tones, and rhythmic syncopation to wrap it all into a cool line where I'm not just playing roots. There's always a time and a place for this kind of playing. Not all the time, but it is a technique, like I said, that you can add to your arsenal, your bag of tricks. You need to know more than just playing root, 5th, and flat 7. And this is one cool way to create some cool melodicism within the lines that you're playing. The next exercise demonstrates the various ways that you can use the material that we've already covered so far to create interest and excitement in your bass lines. Notice the use of approach notes, both chromatic and diatonic, scale passing tones, and syncopated rhythmic patterns. experimenting with this concept of creating bass lines over this 2-bar progression using your favorite styles of music. That just about wraps up today's lesson, but before we go, let's talk about what you've learned. In today's lesson, you've learned how to practice over chord progressions by isolating groups of 2 chords. We've also learned how to add variety and interest to your bass lines by starting your lines on different chord tones, the root, the 3rd, the 5th, and the 7th. We've also then learned how to transition from chord to chord in a stepwise manner, creating melodic hooks in your bass lines. As always, practice smart, work hard, and play creatively. If you've enjoyed this lesson, please click the like button below and be sure to subscribe to my channel. For a more in-depth look at studying bass, please visit my Video Bass Lessons membership site, www.joehubbardbassvideos.com. For further information about private lessons both in person and on Skype and my email bass correspondence course, please shoot me an email at heyjoe@joehubbardbass.com. Take care.